I'm sorry, Sama. I don't know what's gotten into him.
Before I left, the first time, I made him a promise.
He's been difficult since you and your mother left.
I can see that.
Was the promise about your mother?
Yeah.
Bulb always idolized her. You bringing her back was his last hope. Now, he's angry and lashing out.
I just hope no one else gets caught up in the lashes.
Next time on Ever's After. These days, I'm in a whole new war. I've fought on the lines for so long, sometimes I forget that bullets don't always come from across a battlefield. I hope I don't lose my heart on this scarred piece of dirt like I did on the last one.
Heard you talk someone into selling you 806, Guri.
It's part of my job to keep an eye on the neighborhood half-cyborg.
You moved just to watch me, Guri? I think you're getting a crush.
This is my block, my responsibility.
Responsibility? Expanding your vocabulary, Guri.
It's not your war. I'm here making sure it stays that way.
Guri, it's too late to try something like this.
Do you care about what's left of your neighborhood or not? Samantha left us. She came back different.
But it's not right.
What's not right is how your sister turned herself into a monster.
That was Ever's After's newest episode. Frankly, award-worthy. Next up, is your love Titanic approaching an iceberg? Let them put a lighthouse on your personal sex glacier. Radiation Ships is now on WSPN. The Spoon.
Bush Rangers and Rippers, Drecks and Screamers, Settlers and Survivors. To all you radheads out there in a Radiation Nation, this is an emergency broadcast to your heart. Further instructions incoming. We are live from our EBS compound at undisclosed location deep in the lines of the Sadlands. Our hearts are pure, our backs strong, and eyes shielded from the glare of the bone waste. I'm host Radflake, and with me, the professor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Radiation Ship. Now, we got a little bit of a different show for you today, people.
Indeed.
I won't be running any commercials, won't be reading any copy on air. That's because we're doing, we do this from time to time. This show is in part listener supported. And I think it's important for you to realize that we do have to mention it from time to time on air. And as such, like I said today, we won't be reading any commercials for any of the wonderful Kitterettes, any of the other
move it along.
Of the other sponsors.
Yeah. Just move it on.
So, bit of a listener fun drive today. The professor's got something he's prepared for the moment, just to sort of get you guys in the mood for it. Mm-hmm. What we're doing here is we need you to know that this show is not free to make. Mm-hmm. No. We can't do this for free. Mm-hmm. There's power, mm-hmm. and there's our time, and there's a lot of work that goes into this, and a lot of people that listen to it. Professor,
as my co-host said, this show is not free. There are things that we need in our lives and in our bunker to continue functioning. Yes, we have water. Yes, we have power. We have basic food. But to deliver the wealth of knowledge to our listeners, we require additional things. We have water. Yes, we need hot water. We have food. Yes, but we need better food. Foie doesn't grow itself. And so we need you, the listeners, to send us not just cans, not just teeth, but money. Money for us to put in our pockets, to put in our mattresses, to rub over our bodies just to remind ourselves that it's there. Now, I know what you're thinking. These gentlemen are not speaking to me. They're speaking to people and or entities and or essences of affluence whose job it is to keep radiation ships from radiation sinking. You're thinking, I'm just going to sit by my radio and suckle at the spigot of shrewd sapience skillfully sprayed by Sham and sometimes his sidekick. But I'm here to tell you that the suck stops here. Unless you've got a buck. If you've got a buck, then you can have a suck. 1 suck for $1. $3 get you 3 sucks. If you've got bucks to shuck, we've got sucks to huck. We're not schmucks who run amok. Shucks, we've got trucks of sucks to get you unstuck. We're just here to help. Fudge. Rad?
That's right, listeners. It's important. We are taking donations, any and all, anything you can spare. We appreciate it, and it shows your appreciation for us. Now, if you'd like to get a hold of us, you don't want to go to the Dead Drop, a neat new spot that's just opened up. You'll find it right by Highway 24. It's bright lights, big city, right in downtown. The Dead Drop, they have arranged a deal with Shum, I believe, to sort of middleman this whole thing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Now, don't get me wrong. I do still greatly appreciate the teeth that I've been receiving from all of you. But to be perfectly honest, put yourself in my position. Have you ever tried to get a hot stone massage with teeth? It's gritty. It's chafing at best.
It's much like someone biting you
softly. And
metaphorically,
and with the roots of the teeth as much as the other end.
You know, in the teeth, that brings up another good point because, like you said, you're getting a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
In these past few weeks, you went from getting a box or 2 every few days. Mm-hmm. We're getting them by basically the truckload now.
Yeah.
And people, part of the expenses here, we got to have some place to put those teeth.
Yeah.
Those teeth don't store themselves for free.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm out there blasting, new corridors, new rooms. Trying to make spaces for these, and we can't do that, for free.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of mileage when we wanted to make mosaic tabletops, and then it moved to mosaic tile work in our kitchens and bathrooms. We have run out of grout, and grout costs money. And I know some of you industrious listeners are thinking, why don't you just grind down the teeth to make grout? And that just doesn't work. The teeth have no inherent adhesive properties.
It's true.
We need grout. And we need money.
And we've spoken at length against ungrateful people. Mm-hmm. If you withhold your donations, you're basically telling us we don't want you to have those gifts.
No.
That the other listeners, my fellow listeners, so graciously provided you. Where did they get those teeth from? Maybe they're some of their own. Mm-hmm. That's a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
Food doesn't chew itself.
No.
If you're not making a donation here, if you're just listening to this, and sucking off the teat of radiation chips. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you something. You are telling us, I want you to be ungrateful with the other gifts you've been given from these other listeners. And that's not right. No. And that makes you ungrateful by extension. Yeah. And I refuse to be a part of your ungratefulness.
Yeah. But if you will stop being ungrateful, we can stop being ungrateful.
All right. Do we have anybody on the line? Anybody calling in? Got to keep those lines hot, people. We're looking for donations here. Call in, tell us what you're giving us.
Yep. Looks like we have someone here. You're on Radiation Ships. How can we service you?
We'll be right back with Rad Flink and Professor Shum DeFryan on Radiation Ships.
Hi! I'm Paul Withpiles. I can barely believe in these deals. We've got piles of piles for you to choose from. Buy a bunch and save a bundle. You'll never forgive yourself for missing out. Sconces, we got them. Designer piles or piles of designs, designated piles, pill designs, 2-ply divides, pill divides, split divides. We have both. Bell pains, don't even. Paper pompos, yes. Paper tamaricide, Caphoria azium. Tetanus shots, they're just over. There, it's there. I'm Paul, and I'll see you there. Of course, I mean here, at Piles. If you want it, we have it. Just ask me if you don't believe it, because I guarantee it.
Don't be a pile, buy one at Piles, inside the Westgate warehouse just off of Highway 96.
Hello, male and other genders. Are you looking for some real, full intercourse? My friends and I are so itchy for smooching, and we are ready for the good body times on the phone with you. Can I tell you a secret? I like it when it gets all mushy or slimy. We could do the entire thing together. Hope I don't giggle. Dial Sir Lady Yow 3 to tell me you like how I look. What's that? You like my chloroform? Dial Sir Lady Yow 3. Feel uncomfortable calling us? Then we will call you. I hope you'll come looking for us.
We now return to radiation ships, already in progress, on WSPN. The Spoon.
So there's any number of goods that will be useful to us. Amyl nitrates are invaluable. All of the nitrates, amyl nitrates, ammonium nitrates, fluoride nitrates. That's a new one, but it's delightful. All right, let's see who is on the line. Go ahead, caller. Welcome to Radiation Ships. How can we service you?
Caller, what's your donation?
Hey, fellas, I'm just having a little problem.
I don't believe we're taking problems for donation. Professor?
Mm-hmm. No.
Well, see, the thing is, I seem to have fallen in love with myself.
Have you?
I am not rightly sure what to do about it.
Well, let's get some background. What's so great about you?
Well, let's see. I've got a great smile.
Okay.
I've got a great head of hair.
Mm-hmm.
My posture is great. I'm really great with my words.
Okay.
I'm just really, really awesome.
Okay. But you're troubled by this affinity with yourself. What's troubling?
Well, I just don't know how to talk to me about it.
Okay. Is it because you're a bad listener?
I don't think I'm a bad listener.
No?
Maybe I'm just having trouble saying it.
Okay. So you're a bad speaker?
No, I think I speak very well.
Okay. So if you listen well and you speak well, but you still can't talk to yourself, there must be an underlining terribleness to you.
Well, I don't know. I try to talk to me all the time about how much I love me, but I guess me just doesn't want to hear it.
Okay. So you don't have time for you. You is self-absorbed.
Well, I guess maybe that's it, but...
Okay, I don't feel like this is going anywhere, so let's cut to the chase here. Professor, you talk about role-playing sometimes as a way of working through certain problems or certain difficulties, both in the bedroom and out. Yeah. Maybe we could try that. So, caller, tell you what, I'm going to be you, and you go ahead, and I guess you can be you too.
Okay, yep.
And caller, go. You pretend you're talking to yourself, and I'm going to be you. And so is the professor.
And I'll be you as well.
Hey there, sweetheart. You know, we've been together a long time. Yeah, and I just wanted you to know that I love you. That I want to be love to you. And I want to make love to you for all time.
I see what he means now. Because he didn't talk about anything about me. It was all about him. He was like, I like you. I love you. I want to make love to you. It's not, do you see where I'm going with this? He didn't mention my goggles. He didn't mention my eyes. He didn't mention this wonderful radio show that we do every day. So, Professor, are you coming along with me on this one?
Who's this professor? I'm the caller. My name is Caller, and I'm clearly compensating for something.
All right, Caller, that is bringing a good point. You never told us your name, which is extremely rude.
Well, you never did ask my name.
What is my name, Caller?
My name is Henry.
Okay, my name's Henry too.
Nice to meet you, Henry.
Nice to meet you, Henry. So I think the problem I had with what you were saying earlier, what was that? It was very self-centered.
Well,
and I didn't feel like you were really opening up. I felt like you were closing off rather than opening up. If that makes sense, does that? Am I making sense to me there, Henry?
Well, I'm not quite sure what you're telling me. It sounds like you're saying that in order to love myself, I have to know myself. And I think I know myself pretty well.
Well, yes, I do know myself, and I know that these pants make my butt look prolapsed, and I need to dress better. I think that might be my underlying issue. I think I just don't have enough self-respect to be worthy of self-love, but I have to compensate and tell people that I love myself.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think I'm making a lot of sense to myself right now. The reason I can't show myself what I feel is because I am cutting off because I'm compensating. I'm not quite opening up all the way to myself, and probably others. Let's be honest here. There's a lot of problems there. If you can't open up to yourself, how are you going to open up to anyone else?
I would have to agree with myself.
I mean, how
here.
am I going to open up to anyone else?
I'd have to agree with myself here if I wasn't so utterly inept. I dress poorly. I'm not very intelligent. I don't speak well. I've got a dumb name. My name is Henry, and I'm worthless.
What kind of name is Henry anyway? I wish I had a cool name like Rat or something.
Have I considered going to professor college? Well, yes, because that is the most noble profession. But I just can't seem to work up the motivation. I can't seem to get up off of this couch and do something worthwhile. I just have to sit here in my terrible pants with my terrible name and my terrible self and eat cheese.
I think my pants look great on me, by the way. Here in the studio, I'd like to say, Henry, I think you're going a little too hard at yourself there. I definitely think that listener, that radio show I was listening to maybe made a mistake because I'm caught in some sort of weird loop, I think.
Oh, there I go again. Spouting nonsense. What I really feel is that radio program is an invaluable resource. There's enlightenment, there's good-natured humor, but there's also a point and a heart. And what I really think that I need to do is empty out my pockets, take all of the money that I have, and send it to these fine gentlemen on the radio who are telling me how to fix my terrible, terrible self.
And that might be the best idea I've ever had. Thank you very much, caller. Thank me very much for calling.
It's done with it's done. Your name is Rad. Your name is Rad. Come back to me, Rad. Come back to us. Rad, it's here. I'm the professor. You're Rad.
All right.
Okay.
Professor, Henry is absolutely going to be sending so many donations. Very excited about it. I'm very excited about it.
I think so.
As is me. Did you have anything you'd like to add to that call?
Well, I just, just to add to the wealth of information for our listeners, just to give them a little more for their money. On the topic of self-love, yes, self-love is important, but let's not put the chariot before the children. To be capable of self-love, you must first be worthy of self-love. You can't love you if you aren't worth being loved by you. And if you are not worth loving you, then no you is ever going to love any you. You need to set standards for you that you are able to recognize as appropriate standards for you. If the flaws that you have are making you unable to love you, then you need to set standards for you that are higher than the imperfections that make you unable to love you. It's only when you surpass your flaws that you see in you, that you can look at you and say, you, I love you. All right, let's go ahead and take another caller.
Wise words by the professor. I don't think there's anybody on the line at the moment. Caden, we got anybody?
Well, see...
You're listening to Radiationships, a massage for your love muscle. But first, buy this stuff.
A man of humble upbringing.
I'm a man of humble upbringing.
A woman acquainted with desire.
My wife is wanting me to make a porn movie.
A legend older than time itself.
I have heard there are machines for the buggery.
A secret that will stay shrouded in mystery.
This will stay shrouded in mystery forever.
Forever. From visionary director Mitcherton Ron, in conjunction with the Sadlands Internet Committee, comes a tale of doubt.
I do not fully understand what a porn movie is.
Of duty.
I know I'm supposed to be the pillar of strength.
A tale of self-discovery.
I am sinewy. I am dry. I am coarse.
And selfless love.
I will drag my wife through a field of corn.
The true story of two people who dared to ask the question, what? And the answer that damn near killed them. This summer, Ron Mitcherton is the machine.
I feel like maybe there's something not right with that.
Do we have what you are craving? Let us shovel it in. On WSPN, The Spoon.
listeners, we don't like talking about ourselves too much on the radio show here because this show is about you. And today it's about what you can give us. Mm-hmm. So,
money.
Let's go ahead and go to another caller.
Give us money.
Caller, are you there?
Money.
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you got for us?
I have a couple of questions for you. So I've made a lot of bad choices in my life, you know, in the past, and I don't have many options nowadays. So I had a situation happen to me recently where someone offered me, 40 crates of ammo to have sex with them, and I'm wondering, is there something I should do? How am I going to explain, my employment gap to my future employers? Should they ask? As a member of the relieved community, am I being fetishized here? Should I draw my line in the bone, in the bone dust and say, this is this is what's left of my body, or do I just accept that this is what I have to do now in order to survive?
Well, I think my take on that would be, it seems like a fine deal to me. It seems perfectly above board and reasonable, as long as you can be assured that they actually have the 40 crates of ammo, because that's quite a big ask for just conjugal relations. So I would say go ahead and go with it and send us 10%.
That's an excellent start. I would like to know, I'm not quite as versed in the modern contemporary vernacular as I should be. So when you say that you are relived, what does that mean?
I've heard other people use the term undead. I like to call it my past life. I was, reanimated through, no fault of my own. I was completely happy being dead. How do I set my own boundaries is what I'm asking for.
So you're trans dead. Oh wow! It is such an honor. It is such an honor to have one of your people, someone from your culture, reaching out to us. I have to say this is a really big moment for me. I wanted to congratulate you on your life. Congratulations on your life, wow, there's just so much I want to know. As a trans dead individual, tell me about the nature of your transition. Are you FTD or DTF?
Well, I don't. Like I said, it wasn't.
I think he's trying to say, did you get bit or something? Did you get bit?
Well, no, I wasn't present for the transition.
That's actually kind of weird. Most jumblies are victims of attacks themselves, and they sort of perpetrate the virus. Sorry, go ahead.
We don't. I understand that that's a word that that people use, but it's more more our word. So
in my experience, your words are mostly like bah, rah. That's. Generally, you talk to a jumbly, you're gonna get a lot of that, a lot of that sort of, and just like wiggling around. That's my experience.
Ma'am, I have to apologize for my co-host Rad.
I don't apologize for me. I can apologize for myself.
Those are all of those are their words. All of those are their words. So I'm sorry. So getting back.
Wait, which ones? When did we start their words?
Everything that you just said.
There's no way.
I'm not going to listen.
There is no way all of those words are theirs.
I have the utmost.
Look, I will go get the dictionary. Don't make me go get the dictionary.
I have the utmost personal respect for you and professional respect for you, Rad. But I'm not going to sit here and do a broadcast with you in gray face. It's not something that I'm going to abide.
You mean green face?
Yeah. Well. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I do. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay.
So your transition was DTF. You dead to frisky. So you began your journey ostensibly as a fully dead person. How has the fully dead community responded to you since your transition? Do they actively engage you, or are they mostly silent?
Well, most dead people I have found to be relatively silent. But there are a few that try and get in your way every once in a while. We wouldn't call them dead so much as just stubborn.
You have such a rich culture. Just tell me a little bit about your life. Are you getting enough to eat?
I mean, yeah.
Can you call it a life, Professor? Is that one of their words too, or did you use the wrong word there? Because what do you call it? Your afterlife? Because you called your other one your previous life. So what is it, caller?
Well, sir, I would want to point out just a little bit that, for all the raring you said a minute ago, culturally speaking, you are sounding pretty close to a jumbler yourself. You have a little bit of the gravel in there.
Well, sure. I mean, I wasn't being disparaging earlier.
Well,
I mean, that's a manly, very strong way to project yourself, which comes to me naturally, and I'm assuming would come to them as well naturally.
Well,
yeah, you know what? This isn't about us, caller. Let's get back to this pledge drive. So what are you donating to us?
I'm sorry. I called in just for the.
Okay, so you're just donating problems again.
No, I have to make a singular exception here. I certainly can't take anything from you. My people have taken more than enough from you. If anything, I should give you something. Can I send you someone to eat? I've heard that the trans dead love ribs.
I mean, I suppose we like ribs as much as the next person, but I wouldn't say that's exclusive to our community.
The ribs are great.
Yeah.
I mean, we do really like watermelon.
You are so brave.
Now, watermelon.
Now, there's something that I've always wanted to know. I know that you eat people, but also you are people. So, I mean, I guess what I want to know is, do you get hungry when you look at yourself in the mirror?
No. It's not particularly something I would say I've experienced.
You've such a strength.
I can say definitely I have before.
We've all got stories, Rad.
Well,
now I don't want to pry into your romantic life, but is it true what they say about rigor mortis?
What do you hear?
Well, what don't I hear?
I can't answer that for you.
Fair enough. I won't dig into that anymore. But tell me this: when you're with another trans dead person, how do you decide who's the animate and who's the inert?
Technically, undead or relived would imply that we both do possess the necessary skills in order to move.
That's good, and actually, our listeners should take note of that. Just being able to recognize the relived and the trans dead. It's funny. People ask me all the time if I'm trans dead, and I'm like, no, I wish. It's just funny. I mean, but I can always tell when I see one of you people. I've got excellent slaydar.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Did you have some advice for my current situation?
Absolutely, listener. Just remind us what it is. By the way, what's your name?
I don't know if I feel comfortable sharing that.
It's fine. People do it all the time. Living and dead. It's fine.
Well, okay.
No,
well,
not the dead so much. Sorry.
Well, let's just call me Jay for now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So getting back to the ammo problem. So you are being offered this wonderful deal, frankly. I don't know why you're even hesitating. Who is this? Who is this other entity, being, person? Who's offered this deal to you?
They were human.
Okay. So you don't like humans? Is that where this is going?
Well, no. It's fine. I just would like.
Oh, it's fine.
Well, I didn't mean fine. I meant more that I
just live your truth.
Was not
live your truth.
Yeah. Okay.
You have no enemies here. You have no enemies here. You just you be who you are.
You have no enemies, but the ones you make.
You have such a great inner strength. No one here is trying to hurt you. No one here is trying to find you. Although I would actually like to set up a time to meet. I know that could probably take some time since you're on CPT. Corpse plotting time.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So this person, who, what's your relationship with them? Is it something where it's unsolicited and they just came up to you and was like, "Hey, I got all this ammo"? Because that would be a little fishy to me.
I was at a bar like any other, knocking back the drinks. I had the towel under my chair.
Right, no need to go into details. Just for the night, you get the ammo. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah, essentially.
Right. Okay.
I know that there's a lot of things that I have to do in order to, provide for myself, make sure that I have the things that I need, and it's gotten really hard, and I don't.
Your courage is truly inspiring, and I just hope that you have the same faith in you that I have in your people. Your struggle is your struggle. It's your own. It's no one else's struggle, but because of who you are, you will come through that struggle one way or the other.
Wow, it must be just exhausting to be you.
Can I touch your hair?
Not currently.
Okay. That's all right. It's your hair. I would not do that without your consent.
Thank you.
I gotta tell you, listeners, that's not entirely true. This guy right here.
Okay. Phyllis, I'm gonna ask you, did you have any other, help, or are we just, is this just a 20 questions kind of situation, or,
I gave you my take on it. Was that not enough for you?
I'm just curious because he's waiting.
He's waiting right now. Is there any sort of time frame on this? Was you like, this is a short time offer only? Like, we got to do this tonight or not at all? Like, was there a rush put on this? Because that's a red flag right there.
Well, I'd say anybody offering you ammo, there's a rush put on it.
This goes back to my other point. You need to make sure you see the ammo before you go through with this, and you need to send us 10%.
That's good.
Well,
yep.
I'm not an idiot. I'm gonna check it out before I, leg him.
Oh, I'm not trying to imply that Jumblies are dumb or anything like that. I just want to make sure that we're clear here. In a lot of situations like this, you can get caught up. You've had a few drinks. You mentioned you were at a bar, and this is presented as something that, a do or die right now. Depending on what resources you have at your disposal, that can put you in a bad situation.
Right, but I trusted, people. Beforehand, it's different when you're approached by a mouth breather as opposed to a chest breather. So you put your guard up just a little bit, and you know that it's not really it's hard to understand anybody outside of your community. Who can really understand what it is that you deal with day in and day out.
You're so discerning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to be checking out the ammo cases. As you said before, I think that's good. Yeah. They look like color points. Good idea. But
now, hang on just one second there, caller. I'd like to set a reminder to all our listeners. This has been going on for a little bit. This is a pledge drive. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a pledge drive. We are looking for donations. We cannot keep these spotlights on. We cannot keep the barbed wire shine without your donations.
That's right. That's right. Be our allies. Unless you're trans dead, in which case, just let us be your allies. Tell us how to be an ally to you, and that's our pleasure. It's our privilege to extend our privilege to you, the unprivileged.
Michonne, help me. I listen to WSPN all the time. I've never been able to catch your show except for today, and I know it's supposed to be, about relationships and helping people, and I
and
don't
you are
feel
a
like
person.
I am. Thank
Yes.
you, but
Say
I
it.
don't feel like I've
Own it.
got really the advice that
Own it.
I
Declare it.
Okay.
I am a person.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Okay.
All right. Well, that caller was, I think that's a first for us.
It's a first.
First time we got a Jumbly caller, which is great.
It's the pejorative.
And hopefully we will be getting lots of donations from her as well. That's a very lucrative deal she was being offered there.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's extremely exciting. Yeah. I know I would be excited to be offered something like that.
I just wish she had stayed on the line for longer. I have so many more questions, so much more I want to know.
Like what?
About her culture.
What do you want to know?
Well, but just she mentioned food a little bit, but I want to know what are her preferred dishes.
Oh, they like eating your sister.
How does she dance. Other cultural questions like she mentioned the double S-pin. I'd love to know what the double S-pin is in the transdead community.
I didn't catch that. Double S-pin?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Well, now I wish we'd asked her more about that.
To our trans
That's
dead,
way more interesting than her problem.
To our trans dead persons who are listening, feel free to call in, tell us about the double S-pin, or whatever is on your heart, because you do have hearts. Even if people don't realize that, even if you don't literally have a heart, you have a heart because you're a person.
That seems like a good time to call this done for the day. Listeners, I hope you've gotten something of value out of this, and I hope we have too. I hope we've gotten quite a bit of value out of this drive.
I know I have.
Since you wouldn't let me do my commercials.
Yeah. Oh, and money. Send us money. Sorry, I was distracted. I've received a lot, particularly from that last caller, but I still need to receive things from the rest of our callers and the rest of you listeners. Just send me things. Thanks.
That's going to do it for today. This has been Radiation Ship. I'm Red Flink. With me, the Professor. Don't come looking for us.